Matteo Ruggeri is an 18-year-old left-back from Atalanta who is out on loan, who looks quite fantastic. Maybe a wonder kid, you might say, and you can pick him up on an approach to sign deal. If you take a look at this deal, you will have to pay a compensation fee. You're not going to get him completely for free. £3.9 million. It's whether you see that's worth it. However, you're basically going right above the team's head and you can sign him straight from the off. Now, I have 19 more of these players, just like Matteo, who are fantastic and are all approach to sign players, meaning you won't have to do any transfer fees whatsoever. It's all approach to sign compensation fees. Next up is a goalkeeper, Luka Podolak. German, 16 years of age from Schalke. Again, looks really good fundamentally, and he's only 16. That is absolutely outstanding. 6'3" he looks quite special. Staying in the Bundesliga is probably one of the best players on this list, and it's Linus Gechter. 17 years of age, centre-back from Hertha Berlin. He's only 6 foot, so hopefully he does grow a little bit. He does have decent physical attributes, including 13 jump reach and very good acceleration and pace. But with a little bit of development as an approach to sign deal, we can hopefully get him for £2.4 million. If he turns out to be good in the future, we're looking at an absolute steal for that man. Another centre-back, Rav van den Berg. Now, he was decent last year. He looks quite decent this year. 16 years of age, playing for Pek Zwolle. He does have some weaknesses, of course, but, of course, being only 16, he has a long way to go. Hopefully, he will develop into a better player. Again, approach to sign deal. In the Ajax youth team, we have Gabriel Mishoy, who is 15 years of age, a centre midfielder who can also play attacking midfield too, and he has some really good attributes considering he is only 15 years of age. Looks like he could be one of those like in behind the striker playmakers. He has decent passing, vision, 14 long shots, and not bad first touch and dribbling to begin with. If he gets better physicals, I think this guy could be very good in the future. One from last year, Jamie Bino Gittens, again at Dortmund from last year too. He is still approached to sign. 16 years of age, and he's an English winger who can play on both sides. Very much like what Jadon Sancho was a few years ago. Is he as good as Jadon Sancho in the future? Well, last year he had a decent potential. I dare say he probably still has roughly the same, I'd say. Again, approach to sign deal. Let's see how much. Roughly £2.2 million. I'd say that's probably quite a good deal for Jamie Bino Gittens. Back to the Netherlands, we have Jamal Gonzaga from PSV this time round. So we're going for a few different clubs here in the Eredivisie. He has great determination to start off with, whether that's an actual fixed attribute or a potential range attribute, we'll see. But Jamal, I think, has some really good fundamental attributes. Again, like all of these players, they're not going to be first team players. We know that. They're all like 15, 16. I think the oldest player is only 18 years of age. So we are going to expect to see very drab attributes, but it's seeing the little gems in them. And obviously this is the beta. We don't know what their potential is. They could be trash. They could be the best player on the game. We still don't know. By the way, we have more lists coming. 5-year Wonderkids. We have like Wonderkids under certain price ranges, and then we'll have some rebuilds. Page.com/MakeLoot Gaming, by the way, is where you can vote for future rebuilds. My dad will be coming back. Isaac Babadi. We are staying with PSV. And again, another centre attacking midfielder who has decent physicals, very good flair as well, passing, vision. Surely one of these has got to be good, right? I mean, maybe just sign them all. Sign them all and tell me at the end which one is good. Dave Quackman. Did I include this guy in this list just because he is called Dave Quackman? Yes, but also he is approached to sign, and he doesn't actually look that bad. He has some good attributes, especially in the mentals and the technicals. Physicals, a lot of 11s, that's fine. He also plays centre defensive midfield, and in that centre midfield role, he can do a job in the centre attacking midfield, but you've got to sign him because he is called Dave Quackman. I tell you, the names don't get any easier. Stanis Ndumbo Muzambo. Belgian 16-year-old playing in Ajax's under-18s. This guy actually has some really good attributes. 16s and 15s there in the technicals. Even agility and bravery. Bravery is actually a very underestimated attribute. I quite like bravery now that I know how good it could be. He has a bit of a weird player trait, likes to beat opponent repeatedly. That's good if they have good dribbling, agility and pace, which he does kind of have, to be honest. So maybe that is a good player trait. Fantastic fantastic technique as well. And I'll check with you, it's approach to sign. He's probably worth picking up. Moving away from the Netherlands, we are back at Atalanta with Giorgio Scalvini, 17 years of age. And this guy looks insane for 17. Approach to sign as well. I'm curious about his price because he's arguably one of the best on this list. £3 million. That could be a bit of a steal. This could be like the Andrea Papetti that we were talking about last year, and maybe Nicolo Armini the year before, who was the approach to sign 17-year-old Italian centre-back. 6'1", that's not a bad height. He has good jump and reach as well. Decent mental attributes, that 16 determination. Hopefully he's got good professionalism with a high potential. We could be looking at a bit of a star here. Gaetano Oristanio. That is a fantastic name. We are picking up some incredible names here. A left-footed centre attacking midfielder who could also play up top. He is on loan at Volendam from Inter Milan. 18 years of age. Again, approach to sign. That does have a lot of 13s, and that 15 technique obviously looks very good. If he has a decent potential, I dare say he would be very well rounded. Maybe a good shadow striker, maybe a good attacking midfielder. Tracatista, he has some decent mental attributes. That's for you to decide. From the Tottenham youth ranks, of course, last year we had like Dane Scarlett, Alfie Devine. They're all signed up to deals now, but they do now have Jamie Donnelly, who is 16 years of age, from Northern Ireland, as a striker. And he has some really appealing attributes. 15s in acceleration, natural fitness, anticipation, really good attribute for a striker. Dribbling, first touch, and heading. He's only 5'7", so, I mean, heading is a weird one, considering he only has 7 jump and reach as well. Whether that is a variable attribute, we're not too sure. But, again, he is an approach to sign. Last season, the approach to sign guys were really cheap. £2.2 million, but if you offer them actual money, you might be able to get them for a lot cheaper. I don't think this might be the case though with these new player ranges. We will find out. So 600k. If you were to give them transfer budget, 600k. Now, a reoccurring theme is that we're going to go to kind of the same countries because these are the countries with youth contracts where you can approach to sign them. So we're back in PSV. Jevon Simmons is the man we're looking at now. He plays on the right, he can play in behind the striker. He's only 15, and I dare say for one of the 15-year-olds on this list, he's probably one of the better ones. He has a lot of like 14s and 13 attributes, including that 15 agility, which of course is really important for the two main roles he plays in. 5'11 as well. Maybe you need to get the Argus officials trait off of him, but other than that, he looks very good. Another 15-year-old and another left-footed winger, Jaden Adai, from AZ Alkmaar this time in their under-18s. Again, it's approach to sign, as you can see. Good determination, flair, decent physicals, the dribbling and first touch of 14, technique of 14. He has worryingly low mental attributes like that 5 composure. Hopefully that's a variable attribute and that can change. And of course, 4 stamina, that's not great in this match engine, especially if you're using Gegenpress, but he is only 15, so he's got a long way to go. If he bumps up 10 by that and you're looking at 14 stamina, that's absolutely brilliant. We haven't had a lot of strikers on this list, so I'm going to introduce you to Shakur Omar, who is a Swedish striker playing in the Atalanta under-18s. You can approach to sign him and he has a low value, which kind of tells me that maybe you won't have to pay a lot of money for him. 2.5 compensation fee, but transfer budget wise, I wonder whether like 950k, and that's without even bargaining with him. So maybe 500, like 500k for this guy is ridiculously low. And I dare say, like, instead of paying the actual compensation fee for a lot of these players, try and offer them less money than what they're actually worth. Around about the £1 million mark, you probably get a lot better deals than actually paying the compensation fee. However, this guy looks fantastic. Great flair. The physical attributes are fantastic. That natural fitness. And he has the fundamentals that we can see as a striker, dribbling, first touch, and finishing, of course. Decent technique and composure. I like this guy a lot. And he's 6'2", so are we looking at like the next Zlatan? Is he like Zlatan's regen? Right, we're headed to Argentina. A left-sided, right-footed winger. Misael Jane, maybe? That's probably not how you say it. I do apologise. I'm terrible with, like, names, and you probably already know that, really. But what I do know is that this guy does have some great attributes. That pace, acceleration, balance of 15, meaning that he's going to be a very tricky winger on the left-hand side, especially if he's cutting in. Maybe he can play a few good balls. He's got decent technique and first touch, so technically he looks fantastic. He is 17, so with a little bit of tender loving care, I dare say you might get a bit of a player out of this one. Moving over to Brazil, a 15-year-old 19-year-old Mateus Gonçalves. Very good dribbling, good flair, decent physicals to begin with, and the fact that he's only 15 means that a lot of these, which are really low, we hope to see them grow as well. I mean, determination of 3, that's probably a variable attribute, so let's hope that's more. I'm curious though as to how much, because he comes from the Flamengo team, so £1.8 million, but if you offer them, because sometimes they can be really dodgy with prices, so they're just accepting outright 750k for this guy. So you can probably offer that if you're just at like a Premier League team or, you know, a top division team, and just hope that he turns out to be decent. That's quite a good deal. From the Ivory Coast though, finding himself in the Milan under-18s is Chaka Traore. Again, some really good fundamental attributes for the position that he is playing in. On that left-hand side, cutting in on his right foot, decent dribbling, first touch. His passing's 11, vision of 11, with only being 16, that can definitely grow. The physical attributes are good for his age. That flair is very appealing. Means that he'd probably be really good on the ball with decent dribbling, flair, and the physical. So, and he has tries tricks as a player trait. So maybe this is the guy that you bang the ball to his foot on that wing, keep him out wide, and he's going to create a lot of problems for your opposition. Much like this guy, probably one of my favorites on this list, Benjamin Dominguez, 17 years of age, can play naturally on both sides. And if you were to play him naturally on both sides, on that right hand side, he's probably a very deadly winger, given that he has 15 crossing, decent physical attributes and good mentals. And if you had to play him on the left hand side, cutting in on his right foot, great dribbling, 10 for finishing, that's not bad at all. Good passing ability with good vision, so finding people on the edge of the area once he is cut inside, and he likes to beat opposition repeatedly whilst trying tricks. Could be very tricky, this little youngster from Gimnasia in the Argentinian league. I want to see how cheap you can potentially get this guy. So value wise, he's about £2.2 million. They're going to accept such a low offer. Look at that, 550k with a little bit of profit from next sale. Instead, of course, if you were to approach the side to give you an understanding, you'd be paying £2.4 million. So always do that, and he looks absolutely fantastic. Probably the first player I'd go for. And that is our list of approach to sign players. Make sure you check out the other ones, the 5 years in the future, and of course all the ones that are coming up in the future. You need to make sure you're subscribed with that notification bell turned on. Rebuilds will be with you very soon. Page.com/MegaLukeGaming should you wish to vote. See you soon. Bye bye.